What's up, my chosen kingdom family? So, I want to talk about something that hit my spirit, right? And it's just a perspective that kind of raised my consciousness, right? And I'm starting to notice that if you truly pay attention to the things that are happening around you, the things that have happened around you, that it is all spiritual, that within life, the Creator is trying to show us how things operate, right? And think about birth, right? Think about when we are born. So, when you were born, when you were in the womb, you were in complete darkness, right? You are what we would say now as drowning. You are submerged in the water. So pressure. Because as you know, inside water is pressure. Inside the darkness is pressure. Right? And then you get to come out of that darkness and out of that pressure and into the light, usually 9 months later. And it's kind of weird to me that somehow the world will program us to be scared of pressure, to be scared of darkness, when in fact, during the process of birth, God is showing us that the darkness and the pressure is what is going to lead you to your light, right? And then if you think about how you're attached to the umbilical cord, to your mother, and you are snipped from that umbilical cord and they remove you from your mother, that's the first thing they do, is they pull you away from her before they give her to you. You know, and I believe that in every man and every woman in their life, this is the process that we spiritually go through later on in life. You know, and God's really been speaking to me about certain things. And, you know, a lot of people may not agree with me, and that's fine, because I don't care. It's all about my level of consciousness that I believe in. What is my truth? Right? And I know that when God puts something in my spirit and I resonate with it, and I get that feeling of my truth being exposed, I know when it's my truth, regardless of who around me believes in it or not. Right? So what I realized is that even the Bible, there's a lot of truths in the Bible. But I believe the most important thing in the Bible is the perspective that you carry, right? So when they talk about the walk that Jesus had, you know, and first of all, I want to say the part of the scripture that everybody always looks over and steps over, and it's the most important part. The most important part to me in the Bible, it says, "Is it not written that ye are gods?" Is it not written that ye are gods? Why does nobody talk about that? Ye are gods. You are gods. You can call it blasphemy. You can call it whatever you want. But if y'all want to continue to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat these things of the Bible, you can't just hold some of it and not hold the rest. Now, if it says, "Is it not written that ye are gods?" that means that you are gods. That gives you a different perspective of the power that you have. If we are made in the likeness, if we are made in the image of God, and ye are gods, then that means we are all knowing, all powerful, and that all our power is from within. So it led me down a road. It led me down a road in my spiritual consciousness to think to myself, when it's speaking about the walk that Jesus had. Now, if we are God's, and also in the Bible, when Jesus is speaking, he says that we will be greater than him. I don't know the exact verse, but I know that it's in there saying that we are great and that we will do greater things than him. You know? And that's a fact. That's in there. So with him saying that, is he's speaking on knowing that you are God's. You are not the God, but you are a God, because God made you in his image. So he is the all-powerful, almighty God. And you are God's, made in his image. Right? And when you really think about this, when you think about Jesus saying that we will do greater things than him, that is because he knows how evolution works. He knows how, since it was so long ago that he did this thing, that we would evolve from that, right? And if you think about it, so I begin to realize that the Bible and the walk that they're showing us that Jesus went through, it is talking about a spiritual thing. Now, whether you want to believe this or not, that is on you. That's not up. That find your own truth. But I know what God's telling me. And when you think about how Jesus has an awakening where he comes to himself and he begins to try to awaken other people around him, right? And they throw him in the tomb. They betray him. They shun him. They push him away. And he still tries to speak his truth. And they end up killing him, right? And he is resurrected and he comes back to life. When they're trying to tell us this story, I really see this as a spiritual story that they're telling us. If you think about it, if you think about the walk that every man must face and woman, but think about it. Okay, so when we come to the realization that something's not right, and then we completely submit ourselves to God, to ourselves, right? And to God. We have an awakening. And that was the same thing that Jesus had, where he said, wait a minute. Something's not right. I know what people have been telling me for all these years. I know what the world has tried to program me with, but something is not sitting right with me. Something in your spirit tells you that. And then you have this awakening, and it's almost like God, like say you're sitting in the darkness, which you are if you're not awakened to this truth. You're sitting in the darkness for all these years that they have programmed you and they've lied to you and they've led you astray. And when you have this awakening, it's like they flick the light on and you're like, you can see. Your perspective has been open. You can see. And then in the story where Jesus is trying to help people around him, this makes me think of what we have to go through as well. where you have all these friends that you grew up with, all these family members that you grew up with, maybe somebody that you're in a relationship with, and these people won't listen to you. That you had an awakening, that you raised your level of consciousness, that God flicked the light on, and now you see your truth. You see from a new perspective, and you want to take these people from your past with you. And it just goes to show that what God, or what Jesus went through, is the same thing that we go through spiritually with these people that we care about. Which is crazy when you think about it, how it's always the ones closest to you that betray you. It's because the story is that Jesus goes through, it's him telling you the spiritual things that all men must face. The ones closest to you, the ones that you care about. You can't always take them with you. That they will try to cast stones at you. That they will laugh at you, mock you, push you away. The same thing that happened to Jesus. That's why this story was told. And it just raised my consciousness and my perspective. Like, man, that's what it's all about. He's telling you what you're going to have to face once you have your awakening. And then there's a spot when you're on the middle of this bridge where you're crossing into the new you, where you're either going to keep turning around and trying to save everybody that's drowning, or just become the person that you're meant to be. Ye are gods. So you have to move like a god. You have to move in your power. And sometimes you can't go back and save these people, because those people that you're trying to save are the same ones that don't have the belief, don't have the consciousness, don't have the awareness, and aren't willing to travel that path and that bridge that it takes to go to the highest level. So when it talks about killing Jesus, it makes me think that all these people pushing you away and throwing stones at you and betraying you and not believing in you, it's going to kill you, your spirit. Not physically, but everything from the past, all the old you, the old belief systems, the old habits, the old friends. You're going to have to kill that old self. And then that is when you are resurrected, just like Jesus was. That the resurrection is a form of what's going to happen to you in your spiritual realm. It's going to happen to you that you are going to be reborn into a new level of consciousness. You are going to be reborn into a God. Is it not written that ye are gods? Is it not written? So I think it's crazy that when you look at the teachings in the Bible of this perspective, that it is telling you what's going to happen to you, that every man must face this, because ye are gods, made in God's image. And he's telling you what his son, Jesus, had to walk through. So what does that tell me? That tells me that Jesus is our brother. And God sent Jesus to tell you the story of the battles you are going to have to face, becoming like the Father. And that's powerful. That's powerful because that puts the power in your hands. And it makes you really think. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. That's why when you become a father and you have a son or a daughter, of why you have to show them tough love, of why when they get off path, you have to discipline them, of why they can get mad at you, but it's because their consciousness, their level of understanding at that age doesn't understand of why you're disciplining them. Because what they don't understand is that discipline is a form of love. That you are molding them and you are disciplining them and teaching them so that you can lead them to greatness. The same thing God does to his children. So life around you, when you raise your consciousness, you understand that everything happens for a reason. And that's why that is one of the biggest things that people say is everything happens for a reason, but they don't truly dig deep enough to understand what this means. Everything happening around you is showing you how it works. It's leading you to become your highest self. And when God showed me this, it opened my eyes to the whole new perspective, because now I realize that Jesus is my brother, and that I too have to go through the things he went through, and that I have power. Truly understand your power if I'm made in the image of God. And he's telling me this. So that is why when you reach a certain level of consciousness, why you pull away from church and things like this, because the highest form of getting close to God is getting close to yourself, because ye are God's, made in his image. So that separation, that isolation, that's why we must go through this. Because the highest level of consciousness and godliness is here, within. You don't have to seek out outside validation, any building, any place, any person. That God that you are looking for, it's all right here, family. It's all right here. And that's a fact. So I just wanted to drop this video real quick on you guys. I'm going to try to go and hit a workout. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Stay focused, stay positive, stay blessed. Keep the kingdom mindset. Just keep elevating. And I hope this message helped you. If it did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody who needs to hear this. And I thank anybody who donates to the channel or anything like that. I appreciate you. Just know that, you reap what you sow all around. You reap what you sow to this world. The energy you put out is the same thing that's going to come back to you. So I love y'all, man. Never forget that. And I'll see you on the next video. Salute.